This video has been a long time in the making and I'm finally getting to it. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Teaghan. If you don't know me, I help the modern Asian American man to get lean while eating their favorite foods like rice, noodles, boba. But in this video, I'll explain to you what I've been dealing with for the last, I would say maybe 2 years. On and off, for the longest time, I've been dealing with gut health issues. Now, if you haven't watched my other videos, I've explained a little bit of what I've been going through, my experiences, what I've done. I mean, there's a ton of videos on what I've done in terms of fasting, juice cleansing, carnivore diet, all these things. But today, I want to explain to you what kind of symptoms I've been dealing with, what do I actually have, and maybe if you can relate to this, you might have the same issues, and hopefully I can help you on your gut health journey. So this is gonna be a two-part series where I'm gonna explain my history for the last 2 years, my symptoms, what I've been doing, what I've been trying to do, and then part 2 is going to be what I'm doing right now to fix my issue. So if you are dealing with gut health issues, you're trying to be healthy, trying to do all these things just to have a better quality of life, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel, because there's a lot of people who deal with this and there's not many new videos coming out every single day or even every single few months about this situation, and it's so common, especially with the guys I work with. It's a very common thing, and I think we need to address this because it's just only getting bigger and the problem is only getting worse. So make sure you like the video, subscribe, and let's get into today's video. So I've been dealing with gut health issues for, I'll have to say 2 to 3 years on and off, right? So when I first noticed something was wrong was when I traveled to Vegas. So it's weird because everything was so normal, everything was great, you know? My health was good, my gut was good, I was normal, you know? But when I traveled to Vegas, I had this yogurt, you know, and yogurt's pretty healthy, right? But I just was so bloated, my stomach hurt, and then when I got on the plane, I just felt nauseous. I was like, man, am I like plane sick or something like that? Motion sickness? You know, it was so freaking weird. And then even when I got off the plane, I still felt nauseous, I still felt sick, I had no idea. So I stayed in the hotel for a day just to figure out what was going on and just to rest. And then I wanted to eat, you know, so I went out to eat with my family, got some, you know, Taiwanese noodle soup, great food, and you know, I still felt uncomfortable. I didn't know what was happening to me. Maybe I had a bad reaction to the yogurt, you know? So, I mean, after that day, I felt fine. That whole trip was okay. It was just that instance when that happened. So, got back home. This was back in like maybe 2018, 2019, like maybe before the pandemic or something like that, or right in between the pandemic. So I was like, okay, this is weird, right? But I got home, felt normal, felt fine, and then it kept happening over and over again, like on and off kind of thing. Felt nauseous, felt uncomfortable. I just didn't feel normal. And then I remember vividly traveling to Bellingham, so that's like an hour and a half from where I live, to visit one of my friends, and we got some Indian food, all right? And then I was like, okay, this Indian food is like one of the best in town, great food. I had some goat curry, some rice, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get like maybe level 2 spice, all right? Not too crazy. And I know for a fact that Indian food isn't the best food because it's so heavy in spice, spicy, but I definitely felt weird. You know what I mean? Not the typical like, oh, you feel like shit kind of weird, but very bad weird, right? Same thing. Very bloated, abdominal pain, like it was so painful just to, I don't know, contract my stomach. And I was like, okay, maybe this will pass. But during the drive home, that hour and a half, it was so painful. I felt like I was gonna fucking die. I felt like if I fell asleep, I wouldn't wake up. It was that bad. So I stayed awake throughout the whole hour and a half drive just to say, okay, hopefully I'm okay, hopefully I don't throw up. I just felt nauseous and bloated and had abdominal pain. It was just so painful. So this was happening quite often, you know. I can't really remember all of it, but I just know that I had abdominal pain, bloating. I had this weird sensation in my my throat where I felt like I was just gonna throw up all the time, but I just never did. I just felt nauseous every single day and I didn't know what was going on. So I did my own research. I went on Google and I just tried to diagnose myself. I tried to say, maybe this is a gastritis, and I was like, okay, what can I do to make myself better? So I did some research and it got to the point where I needed to go to urgent care and see what was going on. So I went to urgent care. They couldn't really diagnose me at that time and I was like, dude, I need some answers. I need something. And dude, my stomach was hurting so bad that I needed some help. So I went to urgent care. They prescribed me something. Can't really remember what it was, and it helped a little bit, but it didn't really help me that much. So I went to my family doctor and see what he can prescribe, and they suggested that I do a allergy test. I'm like, all right, cool. I'll just do this allergy test. Maybe I'm allergic to food. Maybe I have some food intolerance. And I came back and everyone was fine. I was allergic to a few things actually. I found out I was allergic to nuts, severely allergic. They asked me if I have an EpiPen, but I didn't. I've been eating nuts my whole life, and maybe that's why I have like acne. So I stopped eating nuts. Obviously I'm allergic to dairy, and everything seemed pretty normal. It didn't really help, but I got help from Teaghan, Gohan Hit. I think his handle is Gohan Lifts or something. I'll link his IG right here, and suggested that I take some supplements to help with my gut. So if you guys haven't seen, I did a video on what kind of supplements I take to help with my gut the first time, and it'll be linked up right here. I took this whey protein, not whey protein, but it was a shake. I had some probiotics. It really helped. For the first time that I had this, it cleared out everything. I was like, cool, I'm in the clear. So I had to shout out Gohan for this, and it helped a lot. So shout out to you, Gohan, for helping me deal with the first phase of all this. So after I took these supplements for maybe 3-4 months, I felt great. I felt like I was normal again. I could eat my normal foods, eat rice, I could eat everything that I wanted, burgers, fries, everything. I felt so good until I had a flare up again, and this was maybe, I'll have to say a year ago or so. I can't remember when it happened, but it wasn't as bad as before, right? I felt bloated, I felt nauseous again. My new symptom that I had was I had heartburn. I never had heartburn before. I'm like, okay, this must be a hoax or something like that, right? I'm like, okay, this is weird. So I had heartburn, acid reflux. I'm like, damn, I have this again. So I did the same protocol. I did the same thing. Took the supplements, took the shakes, took the probiotics, and it didn't work. It stopped working. I still felt bloated, I still felt pain, and I was like, dude, this is messed up. So I did some research and I bought some more supplements. I bought some supplements from Ancestral Supplements that were supposed to help with your gut health, your liver, everything like that. So I took these supplements, and ironically, it made me feel even worse. I had really bad acid reflux, my stomach hurt, and I knew something was wrong. I just took one pill and my stomach was upset. So I went back to my family doctor and they suggested that I go see a gastro expert, right? Someone who's an expert in the stomach, the intestines, someone who's an expert with this type of problem. But I had to wait like maybe a month or two or something like that. So in the meantime, I just try to do as much as I can to fix this on my own. I did juicing. If you didn't see that video, I did juicing for a little bit. I did this for maybe 2 weeks or something like that. It was rough. Still didn't really help with what I was trying to fix. I did prolonged fasting again just to fix my gut. Like, this is not for weight loss. This wasn't for anything else except to fix my gut so I could feel normal again. Didn't really help again. I tried the carnivore diet. I felt pretty good. Like, for the first week, I felt really good. But I just felt so tired from eating like a bunch of protein, a bunch of fats, and eating all of these type of foods. And I wish I went on carnivore again because now I have more research. I know how to do this properly. I think I can do this again long term, but obviously I'm changing my approach right now. So I did a bunch of that stuff: carnivore, juicing, fasting. I did all that stuff until I went to the gastro expert, right? And this doctor, if you haven't seen my vlog, I also did a vlog on there. I wasn't supposed to film inside the clinic, but I did to show you exactly what went through, the whole process. And the doctor, she diagnosed me with GERD. I'm like, cool, we have the problem. I know exactly what we need to do to fix this, right? And she gave me 2 types of medicine. I don't have it anymore because I threw that shit away because it wasn't helping, but these were PPIs, right? So they're H2 blockers, pretty much to block the acid from building up, because GERD is, there's 2 types of GERD, right? GERD is gastrointestinal disease, whatever. I'm probably butchering it, but I had GERD, which is having too much acid, causing acid reflux, causing heartburn, causing all these problems. But you can also have GERD with low stomach acid. I'm like, dude, I didn't know this, right? And this was from researching, watching YouTube videos, watching people's experiences. I'm like, all right, cool. But before that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take these pills, this medicine, and see if this works. And I did this for 30 days, right? Usually you're not supposed to take more than 30 days worth of PPIs or H2 blockers, because that's gonna be detrimental to your gut actually, so it's kind of ironic. So I stopped taking this for 30 days, felt kind of good, still had some flare-ups. I'm like, damn, dude, I am so frustrated. You know, and then I went to Texas to get tatted, to travel, to see my family, and I still had, you know, certain symptoms flare up, right? I would have barbecue and I would flare up, and I would have all these abdominal pains, gas, heartburn. I'm like, dude, why? Right? So I was so frustrated, and I got back home. I booked in another follow-up appointment with my doctor to see what we can do to fix this. So came back home, got checked up, I think December or January of this year, 2022, to see what she suggests I do, and she still thinks I had GERD, you know what I mean? And the funny thing is, like, we didn't do any tests, which is weird. She just based it off of my symptoms and what I was going through, and I was like, huh, this is interesting. Like, how can you know I have these symptoms without testing me? I was like, what is going on, bro, right? And I didn't realize this until I watched a video on someone who had experienced this before, you know? So I researched, I watched YouTube videos, and I'm like, well, before that, so you suggested that I take another drug that's gonna help my stomach lining to pretty much like smooth out like the outer layer of my stomach so I can digest food and I feel better, and just a temporary fix. It was either that or go on antibiotics, and I'm like, nope, I am not doing antibiotics because that's gonna ruin your gut. It's gonna kill the bacteria in your gut. It's gonna kill good and bad bacteria, but I honestly wanted to make sure that I can do this naturally and do this on my own, right? So after I went to the doctor, I'm like, yo, fuck this. I'm not gonna listen to her because I'm gonna do this on my own. I tried not taking the pills or the drug because it wasn't working for me. So did my own research, went on YouTube, and did as much as I can, and I found out that I might have just low stomach acid, right? That's why it's causing all this reflux, this heartburn, and I tried a couple things that actually worked and it's helped me a lot. And the things that have helped me have been Betaine HCL. I actually have it right here. So I've been taking Betaine HCL, which is pretty much a supplement helping you to build your natural stomach acid, right? And this was helping me for a little bit and helped with my symptoms quite a bit. So pretty much your stomach is pretty much battery acid, right? It's there to digest all the foods, to break down all the protein, all the fats, so that you can digest properly. And from my understanding, I have low stomach acid, so I wasn't able to break down all the foods, all the fats, all the protein, and digest it properly, you know? So I did my research. A lot of guys who've been dealing with this suggest I take Betaine HCL. So I took this for, you know, maybe a month and a half, you know, taking one pill at a time every single meal until I felt that heartburn sensation. So if you are trying to figure out how to heal your gut, I would suggest going on Betaine HCL first, right? Betaine HCL and maybe some apple cider vinegar. So the idea with HCL is that you want to eat this right before your meal, right? And disclaimer, I am not a doctor, I'm not a practitioner, so make sure you consult your doctor. But if you want to do this on your own, take this with a grain of salt and use this at your own discretion. So with Betaine HCL, you want to take one pill before your meal and do this a couple days. And if you are still feeling symptom, or if you're feeling all right, take 2 pills every single meal. So take 2 pills before you eat, and then if you feel normal for maybe a few meals, take 3. Do this on a regular basis until you get to maybe 6 or 7 or 8 and you feel that heartburn sensation. That means you have enough stomach acid in your gut. So what that means is you gotta take 1 pill out of the equation. So if you're taking 7, 6, do this for another couple days or a couple weeks, whatever the case may be, until you feel that heartburn sensation. Take it back to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then hopefully that's gonna solve your problem. So I did this for a month and a half, felt really good, thought I solved everything, and then I had a flare up again. You know, so I was like, bro, what am I gonna do? So I got back on the Betaine HCL, still had the same symptoms. I'm like, dude, this is so freaking annoying. So frustrated. And then I posted on my IG story about what I've been going through, and luckily a coach who's an expert in gut health, in restorative health, reached out to me and said, hey, I think you might have SIBO, which is small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. I'm like, maybe I do. Because of the symptoms I have is very similar. I don't have abdominal pain, but I do have a lot of bloating, gas, sometimes constipation. You know, my bowel movements weren't normal, and he suggested that I do a breath test. And mind you, this test was kind of pricey, you know, $230. I'm like, bro, I'm willing to spend as much money as I can to fix this problem because I just want to be healthy. I don't care about the money. I don't care about what I have to do. I just want to be healthy and make sure that I'm normal again. So I took this breath test, which is going to test a couple of things: hydrogen and methane in your stomach to see if you have bacteria in your small intestine. So it's pretty simple. It was a 3-hour test. I took the solution that was meant to create a reaction in my stomach, but I took that solution, did this 3-hour test, and to see if I have SIBO. Right, so I did this 3-hour test, sent it in, and if you want to know more about this test, there's going to be a link in the description for you to buy it, to see if this is something that you want to use to test yourself, to self-diagnose. And then waited, I think maybe 5 days for the results, shipped it, waited 5 days, got the results back, and it turns out I have moderate levels of methane in my stomach. So I do have SIBO, which is there's 2 types of SIBO, hydrogen dominant or methane dominant. So I have methane dominant. It wasn't too serious, but it's to the point where it's still uncomfortable. I still have symptoms, but I know exactly what I need to do. I want to give a massive shout out to Ryan for helping me through this journey. I'm not getting paid, I didn't pay him, but if you're dealing with gut health issues and you want someone to help you through your journey, make sure you message Ryan over here. I want to give him a big shout out for helping me. He wasn't selling me anything, but he wanted to help me. Just coach to coach, right? So, but yeah, I got my results back and I was like, okay, got my results. I'm like, all right, cool. Now we know exactly what the problem is. And I just did more research, went on YouTube to figure out what the hell is going on. But those are my symptoms for SIBO. Let me know in the comments down below if this is something that you're dealing with, and how long have you been dealing with this? Because I've been talking to people who've been dealing with this for years, 5 years, 10 years, and they haven't figured it out and nothing has worked. So this has been my journey in terms of having SIBO, having health problems, gut health problems, and what I'm dealing with right now. So in part 2, I'm gonna explain to you what I'm doing right now to fix this and hopefully help you on your journey. So if you haven't already, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and part 2 is gonna be coming right out and telling you what I'm doing right now to fix SIBO.